I'm Vivian from Synergy. This is our Valentine's Day special. We're really excited about what's going to unfold today. So we've put 9 different decades into a room and we want to see what actually comes out.
Self-love to me means being able to enjoy the person you are. So, being confident within your own skin, whether it be being confident with your exterior, but also being confident within the person that you are.
I think it means basically just making sure you take time for yourself and that you care for yourself, have respect for yourself as well, have a little bit of belief in yourself.
If I can't like myself, who else can, I think. Yeah. You've got to love who you are and what you are, sort of. I think that's important as well. And you have to be happy.
Self-love is being aware that you need to love yourself just as much as you would love your spouse or your family or your friends, anybody important in your life, because you are important as well.
It means caring for myself, thinking about my mind and my body and how I respond to things.
I think it's just about personal acceptance, so it's about looking in the mirror and not being critical of what you see, so accepting what you've got and what you have and what you've got to offer, basically.
It's more starting to take care of myself. I really probably hadn't until the last 5 or 10 years.
Self-love means to me to be able to look in the mirror and the person I see is somebody that I like.
Not very well. I'm more of a talk-the-talk kind of gal. I know what it's about and I know the positives of having self-love, but I'm still working on it. So yeah, really it's just to, again, not be so critical of yourself and be accepting of your values. So.
I care about my health, the way I look and feel. And I also care about my spiritual growth, and I like getting all the treatments at Synergy. I always think that's a nice way of making yourself feel good about yourself, trying to improve yourself. Yeah.
Being able to do something that you enjoy just for the sake of enjoyment, like just for the sake of pleasure.
Also being kind to yourself, so if you make a mistake or something isn't going right, don't really beat yourself up for it. How would your best friend respond to you in that situation? Love yourself like your best friend would love you.
I try to duck off to the cafe and read a book in the corner with a coffee.
Enjoying the garden and smelling the roses.
Well, by helping other people, sort of those who are in trouble. As you know, I always am there to sort of help out whenever possible.
I always went to the gym, swam, and I still do, look after my body and project a professional image and a good person.
Mainly just trying to eat healthy and exercise. They're the main ways I'm practicing, and just now with the children off my hands, having the finances to finally indulge a little bit in things like massages and
I have a little ritual of a night time once the kids are in bed. I get out the teapot and the tea and have little bickies, and I have the proper milk and sugar bowls and everything like that, and that's one of the things that I do. It's a little ritual and it's just special for me, so I'll wait till hubby goes to bed too.
Over the years, I had a long marriage before my husband passed, and I used to send obscene red roses and balloons to him on big job sites, and he used to get a big kick out of it. I'm sure, the guys would stir him and stuff. And I've received roses at work and that occasionally. Doesn't matter how long you've been married, I think it was always rather sweet. Just one little day a year, a little bit of romance, never goes astray.
I think it's just a little excuse or reminder to let each other know that you love them, and
So to me, I don't really do Valentine's Day because I'm like, it's commercialised, but I also like the concept of where it's going. So it sort of is heading in the right direction, it's just got lost a little bit.
It's an interesting concept, you know, that you're kind of, this particular day, you're going to show other people that you love them, you're going to love yourself, that sort of thing, when I think every day should be like that.
I think more recently it just brings home for me, highlights the people who are on their own more and how sad they can feel because of their interpretation of St. Valentine's Day.
My husband was always there. He was always buying me roses. He was caring and he responded to my needs. And it was changed when he died. But I still think that it's wonderful for other people. Yeah.
It's an opportunity for people in love, no matter how old or young, to recognise that and celebrate it. Yeah.
It's not even just about the romance, it's about remembering to tell them that you love them, and yeah, that's probably what it has become now, is just remembering, because you tend to forget so easily when you've been in a relationship for a while, so tell them what they're worth.
You don't need one day of the year to express that love, it should be every day of the year.
Well, I live by myself now, I'm over 90 and I've lost my husband quite a number of years ago, but he always used to be Valentine's Day because we had the paper dropped off every morning, and he'd always be up about 6 o'clock, have his shower, get dressed, go and get the paper. And I'd always remind him, I said, oh, Valentine's Day is coming up. So he'd sort of, on the way back up the drive, because we had quite a long drive, and he'd sort of pick a flower, he'd wrap it in a piece of newspaper and tie it up with string, and he'd come in with a silly grin with one hand behind his back, and then he'd give me Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, as a mum, I think it's important to me at the moment because I've got to remember to look after myself so I can be the best mum for the kids.
I was 50 years in the workforce and 40 years of that working as a volunteer in numerous organisations. So I was always giving to others, not very concentrating on myself. So when I retired, I thought, it's me time. Now it's time for me. Yeah.
Because it's like that whole kind of concept about you keep pouring water in other people's cups, eventually you're going to run out of water yourself.
My career has finished, so I have time to be me and do what I want to do.
Basically, if you don't look after yourself, nobody else will. And self-love, if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, I believe, not effectively.
If you don't love yourself, I don't think you really are qualified or know how to love other people. So I think discovering how to look after yourself and love yourself will also help you look after and love one another as well.
One thing, I think it makes you feel better. You feel elated when you've done something good for someone else. Helping others is always as good. That makes you feel happy.
If you don't have self-love yourself, then it's so hard to accept love from others, and then you'll find that you're actually going to be too hypercritical of other people.
Because life is a mirror, and what you put out you get back. Yeah, that's about it.